What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So Irelia, this is the champion I'm going to be covering in today's video. So this is based off a vote I put on the community page last week. Now to confuse even more, the winner of that was Swain. So why am I doing Irelia? Basically, a lot of the comments on that were saying that if you are going to be doing Swain, it makes sense to do Irelia first. So I trust people's recommendations and I'm sure that will make sense. So here we are, I'm going to be doing Irelia this week. And then next week I'm going to actually do the actual vote winner, which is Swain. Okay, still with me? Right, okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to break this down into 4 parts. The first part is going to be her champion teaser, then it's her champion trailer, then I'm actually going to go and read her bio, and then I'm going to finish off with her actual spotlight as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing a part 2 on her. I'm going to be covering in part 2 her story and also her login theme. I hear her login theme is quite special, but then again, every single League of Legends one I've watched so far has been quite special as well. So yeah, that's going to be part 2. So yeah, I'm going to timestamp the whole thing, so obviously if you want to get to a certain point, you know where to find it. And yeah, let's start off with the champion teaser.
We once danced in harmony with the land, until the tyrants defiled it.
Ooh, tyrants. Could that be?
But when they shattered our spirit, we became sharpest at the break. We are the defenders of the First Lands, and we remember the cost of peace.
Ooh, okay, nice little teaser there. So I like in that. I like how it kind of showed her being a young child, and as she develops and gets older, then she becomes this warrior and leader. But one other quick thing I noticed as well is, this is a bit of a reach, but these tyrants, they've got to be Noxians, aren't they? Surely. This here, you see these either ravens or crows, I'm going to call them here. Now this reminds me of the image of Swain. He, in the background, there's crows or ravens, so I reckon this is Noxians. So maybe this is the connection that people were talking about between Swain and Irelia. Who knows, but I reckon it is. Anyways, let's get on to the actual champion trailer.
There is beauty and tradition in the dance.
Okay, skills.
Grace in every step. Power in every turn.
Ah,
Our dance is an honor to perform.
sure. Yep, okay. Right, there's connection.
And the last thing our enemies will ever see.
Whoa. Okay, Irelia. Skills. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. Is that the end? Right, okay, so now I can see the connection. Now I can see the connection between Swain and Irelia. So it makes more sense now to be doing Irelia first. So I also noticed as well, you see Swain right at the beginning, and then you see the rest of the Noxian champions, I think, as well. There's Swain here, and then that's Darius and... I forgot this guy's name, Sion. This guy's called Sion as well, and I think it showcased her abilities against Noxian champions as well. So there's definitely some kind of them versus us in this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into her bio, which I'm sure is going to actually build upon this as well. So yeah, let's go. Right, so Irelia, the Blade Dancer. Wow, what a cool picture. Wow, what a picture. So, even as a small child, I'm going to say Zan Irelia was fascinated by the grace and beauty of human movement. Under her mother's tutelage, she learned the traditional silk dances of her province. Though she was dubious of their supposedly mystical connection to the spirit of Iona, Irelia's love for the dances was real. Seeking to master the art, she eventually left home to study with some of Iona's most respected performers at the Placidium of Navori. Aurelia's people were peaceful and sought harmony with their neighbours, but rumours of foreign invaders sighted off the coast and settled many at the Placidium, which is obviously what we saw in the actual champion teaser. Aurelia returned to her village to find it already occupied with steel-helmed soldiers from distant Noxus, shoving unarmed civilians through the streets with their butts. With the butts of their spears. That would be quite funny, wouldn't it? But no, it's with the butts of the spears. The Noxian Admiral Durqual had seized the Zan home to quarter his fleet officers. So I think this paragraph describes some of the events we see in the 2019 cinematic Awaken. We also get to see Akale versus Sion as well, and also Yasuo. Aurelia's brother and her father Lito had evidently protested. Her entire family now lay in unmarked graves in the gardens. Savage. Ravaged by grief, the young girl saw Durqual's men hauling valuables from the house. Among the loot was a large metal crest depicting the Zan family emblem. Aurelia raced to it, wrenching it from the Noxian hands. The Admiral himself hurled her to the ground and had his warriors shatter the crest with a heavy iron maul before ordering them to dig a fresh grave for the upstart child. Right, so this is what we also see in the champion teaser as well. So this sounds actually like these events are a little bit before the 2019 cinematic as well. As they surrounded her, Aurelia averted her eyes, looking to the pieces of the Zan's crest scattered on the ground. From deep within her soul, she felt a strange rhythm begin to beat. The shards of metal began to twitch, to twist, moving seamlessly on their own, and Aurelia felt the serene joy of the ancient dances once more. With a sweep of her arm, she sent the pieces flying like ragged blades, cutting clean, through two of the Noxians. As Durqual and his officers reeled in shock, Aurelia snatched up the shards off her crest and fled the village. In the quiet forest beyond, Aurelia mourned her family and thought back to her grandmother's teachings. She realised that the techniques she had learned were more than mere dances. They were a powerful expression of something far greater. Damn right. The Noxian occupation soon began to test the fragile peace of the First Lands. It was said that even the religious leader, Karma, had been forced to strike back at the invaders with deadly magic, though her followers had now withdrawn to the lasting altar and would not condone any further violence. So Karma, I wonder if that's another champion in League of Legends as well. Across Navarre, dissenting voices began to band together. A resistance was forming, one that would not rest until Ionia was free once more. Aurelia joined their ranks, performing her cherished dances for them in the woodland camps to preserve some vestige of their vanishing culture. She was barely 14 years old when she found herself back at the Placidium. Her band of resistance fighters joined the militia who had sworn to guard the monstrosities and wild sacred gardens. But Noxus knew only too well what this place represented. A particularly cunning general named Jericho Swain captured the Placidium. I think it's either Placidium or Placidium. I'm going to go with Placidium actually now. And took its defenders hostage, hoping to lure the inevitable reinforcements into a trap. So maybe this is actually what we see now in the champion trailer as well. It was in this moment that Aurelia rose to meet her destiny. Freed from her bonds, she unleashed the full potential of her ancient blade dance, lashing out with grateful zeal. A dozen of Swain's veterans fell, sowing chaos in the ranks as the other captives joined her. Before she struck down the general himself, the sight of this rebellious girl hefting his severed arm over her head would be the turning point of the war. Right, so is that why now when you see his arm, one of his arms is red, so maybe he's got some other kind of arm on there now, I don't know. Anyway, this victory, the Great Stand of Navarre, ensured that everyone in Ionia knew the name of Zan Aurelia and looked to her for leadership. Reluctantly, she led the growing resistance for almost 3 years of grueling battle before her triumph at Jula Bay. There, she finally cornered the defeated Admiral Durqual and extracted the vengeance she had sought for so long. Right, so she got her revenge. Though the war had long since ended, Ionia had been permanently changed by it. The First Lands are now divided, with rival factions fighting each other almost as bitterly as they did the Noxians. Many continue to look to Aurelia for answers, but while others may welcome such power, Aurelia remains uneasy with it. At heart, she still yearns only to dance alone. Right, okay, that's good. That's good. And as I kind of suspected as well, this ties in nicely with what I've seen in the Champion teaser and also the Champion trailer as well. There's a very strong connection there between her and Noxians, in particular Swain. So, in fact, Jericho Swain. But am I right in saying here, not only did she kill him, she actually, it says there, before she struck down the general himself, the sight of this rebellious girl hefting his severed arm over her head would be the turning point of the war. So she took his arm off, and then she killed him. Why? Okay, Aurelia, okay. So yeah, that was good though. That was good to read. I'm actually looking forward to actually going into her story as well, but I'm going to leave that until part 2. So now we've done that, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through her actual champion spotlight. So, let's go.
This is Aurelia, the Blade Dancer. Aurelia uses the traditional dances of Ionia to levitate an array of deadly blades. Her graceful movements may seem tranquil at first, but a furious tempest awaits anyone who threatens her home. Welcome to the Aurelia Champion Spotlight.
The dance begins.
Nice. Okay, let's go.
Aurelia's Q is Blade Surge.
Wow,
She
how
dashes
quick.
to a target, damaging and applying on-hit effects to it, while healing herself a small amount. The damage is increased if the target is a minion or monster. If the target dies to Blade Surge, or was marked, we'll get into that in a second, its cooldown is refreshed. Aurelia's most iconic ability can now work wonders in and out of a minion wave. Use it to dodge attacks, dive opponents, and snag kills. On your mark, reset, go. Aurelia's E, Flawless Duet, is one way to mark enemies. She sends out a blade and can recast it to send a second blade to another location. These blades will fly toward one another, damaging and stunning enemies caught in the crossfire. Champions and large monsters are marked for Blade Surge resets. If you don't recast the ability within a few seconds, the second blade will simply drop at Aurelia's feet, triggering the damage and stun as normal. Flawless Duet lets you strike at all sorts of unexpected angles. Keep your patterns unpredictable to catch enemies off guard, out-trading them with a stun and a double dash of Blade Surge.
Wow. You know, already, and I might be wrong on this because I'm sure since then there's probably been revisions to her abilities. And looking from the outside in, it just seems like she's really strong, especially her first one, that ability to dash. What is it called now? Let me find out what it's called again. It's called Blade Surge. Wow, that Blade Surge is mad. Okay.
Aurelia's ultimate is Vanguard's Edge. Aurelia throws her blades, which scatter upon hitting an enemy champion, damaging whatever they hit. As with Flawless Duet, the blades will also mark champions and large monsters. As the blades scatter, they form a very sharp cage that lasts for a few seconds. The blade wall damages, slows, and disarms enemies cutting through it. Disarmed is a sort of new debuff that prevents enemies from basic attacking. Here, Aurelia's opponent makes a Graves mistake when he crosses the edge and quick draws a blade. Close, but no cigar.
Okay, I'm warmed up.
Use your ultimate to carve up a fight, splitting off a carry and also setting up a wide selection
Wow.
of marked targets.
Okay.
This is where you separate the good Aurelia players from the great ones. Use Vanguard's Edge for both the blade wall and the marks, unleashing your ultimate in order to maximize both damage and dashing.
It's a speed.
Let's
Got
cut
mud
back to
speed.
Aurelia's W,
Ooh.
Defiant Dance. On first cast, Aurelia begins to channel her will into her blades, losing the ability to move or attack, but gaining significant damage reduction. And a stack of her passive, which we'll cover next. On second cast, Aurelia lashes out, damaging enemies based on the length of the charge. The channel can't be interrupted by crowd control, so use it in the heat of battle to outdance the damage you can't dodge, and put the dance in avoidance. You can also charge it up to secure the last hit on your chosen enemy. Lastly, Aurelia's passive is Ionian Fervor. Hitting enemies with spells grants Aurelia stacks of Ionian Fervor for a few seconds. Hitting multiple champions with a single ability
Look at that,
grants
that's
multiple
funny.
stacks. And basic attacking extends its duration. Each stack adds bonus damage to her basic attacks. At max stacks, this bonus damage is increased against shields, and Aurelia also gains attack speed. Once the Blade Dancer is running a high fervor, she can slice through shields like a hot knife through butter, making enemy defenses irrelevant. Here, Aurelia takes on
That's
a Titan
corny.
of the
That's
depths.
corny. Come
What
on.
you do in this matchup? Give you a hint. It's not a loss.
And
Mad.
leave.
Aurelia
Yeah.
is most devastating when you're constantly blade surging. Keep enemies
Oh,
locked up with
against
flawless
Camille.
duet while
Let's
you
go.
flow freely from one step to the
Oh.
next, turning minions and marks into a sequence of Q resets. Opponents that can't keep up won't make the cut.
Oh, yeah.
For Aurelia.
Careful. I hit back.
When enemies try to trip you up, switch to a well-timed Defiant Dance to guard against their attacks, even when you're
Yeah.
about to be stunned. Lead in with Vanguard's Edge, keeping enemies close as you whirl around the fight in a dance that will leave them dizzy and dead. GG, well played.
We are all creations of the spirit. Still, I must kill you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Aurelia
Cool skin.
Champion
Okay,
Spotlight.
cool
Link
skins.
to the links below for more information on the Blade Dance.
That reminds me as well.
It appears my dance
that?
continues.
Right. Right, cool skins. That actually reminds me right at the end there as well. What I will do in part 2 is I will be going through actually her skins as well. I've had a few comments to say, why don't you in your champion reviews go through the actual skins of each character as well, which is a great idea. So that's what I'll be doing in part 2. Anyways, as for this one, that spotlight was really good. Once again, I want to say, what's it called? This first ability, Blade Surge. Wow, maybe it's just me, but it seems to be so powerful in terms of its how you can use it. Basically, it's fast. It seems to do a lot of damage, and it seems to be able to put you in and get you out of tricky situations as well. Put you in tricky situations? Yeah, put you in the right position and get you out of tricky situations as well. And one other thing I noticed as well is earlier on when she killed Swain. Let me find it here. You can see his hand as well. Watch this here.
Aurelia's ultimate?
Yeah, you can see this hand here that he's got isn't his original hand, so that ties back in with the actual bio where she chopped his hand off. So maybe when I actually go through Swain's actual review as well, get into his bio and his story, it might explain a little bit more about what this hand actually is. So I'm going to leave that there for now. So yeah, hopefully you guys actually enjoyed this part 1 of the review of Aurelia. Hopefully you actually enjoyed the champion trailer, the champion teaser should I say, the champion trailer, also her bio and her spotlight as well. And if you did, feel free to let me know, feel free to like, comment, and maybe also subscribe for more content like this. I will definitely be doing a part 2 soon on her. And yeah, I'll leave it here today guys in this one, so I will see you in the next one.